Hello, my name is Robert. I'm the Twin Cities Ministry Advocate. Just wanted to have a couple of questions today with Greg Steer, President and Founder of GameDay Ministries. Greg, got a couple of questions for you.
Well, thank you, Robert.
No problem.
I was just looking at the map of where we're doing our conferences. Twin Cities, going right up there. Your town.
Yep,
your
we're
towns.
gonna rock it out.
Twin Cities.
And everything. But a lot of people have been wanting to know. So, what is your presuppositional stance explaining on your multi-generational task for the Twin Cities area?
I have no idea. Next. I have no idea what half those words mean.
Okay.
I work with youth leaders and students.
Okay.
I don't need to know all your big fancy words.
All right. Well, some of us went to seminary.
I did not. But some of us can fire the people that went to seminary.
Anyway, all right. So, Dare to Share. What is Dare to Share to the people in Twin Cities?
Well, we're a church assisting organization, so and it's the same everywhere. We want to serve the church to help them in the area of evangelism. Most youth groups have tools and resources when it comes to discipleship, but they don't have a lot of effective stuff when it comes to evangelism, and I think that's where we can really help the church. When students begin to share their faith, they grow deeper in their faith. So I look at evangelism as a discipleship accelerator like nothing else. I mean, in other words, I could sit in a meeting all day and fill in the blanks, but if I'm not risking much but a paper cut, and some time. Mm-hmm. But when I'm out sharing my faith, I'm risking everything. When I'm telling my friends about Christ, I'm risking my standing, my social standing. And it's that risk that really allows the students to pick up the cross and follow after Christ in a very real way. And so I think that's what we're there to serve the youth leaders in Twin Cities and all over Minnesota, is to help them get their kids to grow deep in their faith by going wide with their faith.
Well, great.
Does that work in your little seminary world?
That works great. Okay, and that sets up perfect for our next question, actually.
Well, thank you, Robert.
So, why Dare to Share? And the reason why I'm asking this is, what is your heart for the Twin Cities area?
Well, I look at the Twin Cities and I see a place that has got a lot of religion, but not a lot of revival.
Okay.
And I feel like the churches there need set on fire with the gospel of Christ, and need to set on their communities on fire with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And how do they do that? They get their students living the cause, leading the cause, reaching out. I mean, it's the same way any revival's begun. It's through prayer. It's through the youth leaders living it. It's through them inspiring their students, equipping their students to evangelize, and deploying them. When you see Jesus, it kind of came into his earthly ministry, and he deployed these very religious disciples. They were strict followers of Judaism, but with a mission and a cause. And man, I tell you, it just set it on fire. And how did they take the gospel from Jerusalem to Rome in 30 years? Well, they unleashed these young men called disciples with the gospel of Christ. I think the same thing can happen in Twin Cities. I love the people of the Twin Cities, and I think they're waiting for a movement. I think teenagers are the ones to lead it.
Right on. That's great. Well, my last question for you today is that, what is your vision in the future of Dare to Share in the Twin Cities area?
My vision is to see the Twin Cities own these principles to the point that they're kind of driving it on their own. In other words, there's churches that are training other students to share their faith, that they so own this content and these ideas that in some ways the Dare to Share conference isn't necessary, because they're living and leading the cause on their own. And I feel like there's some churches there that are really close to being that, but I think there's so many more churches that need to come and really get this and own it and then train it themselves. And I think it can happen in Twin Cities.
Well, great. Well, hey, thank you for your time today, Greg. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Twin Cities is February 24th and 25th. It's at Grace Church in Eden Prairie.